Hey, Dr. Don here. I'm an expert in helping women navigate the complexities and the difficulties of being married to a man that is narcissistic. And what I want to give you is I want to equip you and walk you through the hidden dynamics of narcissistic marriages so that you understand the real root of your husband's behavior, how to stop getting pulled into it. And I want to equip you and train you on just how to navigate all of that. So this topic is one that I consider it's just essential for any woman that is navigating a difficult, emotionally exhausting marriage with a partner who may have narcissistic traits. So what's really going on beneath the surface? And more importantly, how do you stop getting pulled into the patterns that leave you feeling small, blamed, crazy, wondering if you've lost your mind? Let's walk through this together, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of understanding, insight, and awareness and equipping. So first, let's get one thing clear. Narcissistic behavior is not about too much self-esteem, right? The term narcissism, comes from a Greek myth where a guy, fell in love with, the image of himself in, in a pool of water. So the term sort of means loving yourself too much, but actually what's going on in terms of the psychopathology of narcissistic behavior is exactly the opposite. It's a fragile ego, just disguised. So your husband's apparent arrogance and defensiveness, refusal to admit fault, they aren't signs of strength, they're actually armor. And this is actually a term that was used by a man that I was working with. I was helping him kind of recover and tone down his narcissism, and we were successful. He described it as armor, and he was learning I need to take off the armor and show up. All of that behavior, it's armor, it's deep, it's protecting a deep and unconscious fear of being exposed, being rejected, and him feeling like he's not in control. That's why he always has to be right. That's why he can't tolerate criticism. That's why he tells you that your emotions are too much. And his are the only ones that matter. He's not relating from love. He's relating from self-protection. Once you understand that, then something powerful shifts for you and for the relationship. That's how and when you stop personalizing his behavior. That's when you stop making it feel like it's about you. Because it's not about you. See, most women in these marriages live inside a crazy loop. They don't even realize it. And the loop goes like this, or the cycle goes like this. At one point in the cycle, he's idealizing you, right? So he's charming, he's generous, he's full of attention. That's the love bombing you might have heard about. And then it moves on to devaluing. So basically anybody that, accepts my admiration must be contemptible. If they accept my admiration, they must be contemptible. So you get devalued. You say something that he doesn't like or he doesn't agree with, and suddenly you're too sensitive, you're too emotional, or you're never satisfied. And then things move on to the discard phase. Maybe you've heard the term in other material where he shuts down and gives you the silent treatment. He explodes or blames, which is a pushing you away from him. So the term discard, I don't like the term. I don't think it's accurate. I don't think it's helpful, because he's not really discarding you. He is shutting down because he can't handle it. His ego is too fragile. And so he's in protective mode, hyper protective mode. That goes on for a while, and then the cycle closes up with a rehook where you pull away in response to his shutdown, and then he pulls you back in with crumbs of affection. Why is he pulling you back in? Oh, because he actually is craving connection. He actually wants you. He actually wants connection and attachment. Got to be clear, this cycle isn't always conscious, but it is deeply effective, um, typically at an unconscious level on his part, to keep you off balance, to keep you destabilized, and it forces you or conditions you to read him, to focus on him, to try and figure him out. What state is he in today? And the more that your attention is on him, trying to figure him out, the more you forget yourself. Right? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Um, and like it just goes on and on and on, and that's you start thinking, well, I guess this is normal. I guess this is normal, which is it's not at all. So um, many women, like yourself in this category, women married to men that have narcissistic traits, they're successful and high functioning and capable outside of the home, leading departments at work, chairing committees, solving problems, handling pressure at work. But then at home, it's like there's this riddle that you can't solve. But here's the key that kind of unravels it and helps you to make sense of it. The key is that it's your strength that actually becomes part of what traps you. Because you are accustomed to taking responsibility. You're accustomed to solving problems. You're accustomed to helping somebody that looks like they need help. And so you keep thinking, maybe I just need to say it differently. Maybe I just need to give him space. Maybe I just need to try harder. But all of that energy, all of that emotional labor, it actually keeps his system running, right? So you're actually feeding the dynamic for him. Every time you try to fix things, you step back into that role that he's, I believe, usually unconsciously set up for you. In all of my work with narcissistic relationships, men and women, I have found again and again that this dynamic is going on, but even the narcissist doesn't even know that they're doing it. So I want to move on. What can you do instead? How do you get a grip on this without sort of entering into the game playing? Because like you're above that, you're beyond that. What it takes is boundaries with consistency. So firm, calm boundaries, right? Not reactive, retaliatory, sort of anger-sourced boundaries, but boundaries with consistency. And those boundaries with consistency comes out of the kind of the next bullet point, a calm nervous system. Super important that you stay genuinely calm at a nervous system level. So calm emotions, right? And so if you find yourself tense, if you find yourself bracing yourself, if you find yourself working to control your frustration, that's not a calm nervous system. That's emotions being controlled. And so we sort of get this gas pedal, brake pedal phenomenon going on at a nervous system level. That doesn't work. Another thing that actually works to change the system is actually speaking less and observing more. Right? So not moving towards so much, but sitting back and listening, watching, observing, taking it in. And also dropping satisfying his need for his validation. Right? What part of what's going on in this system is he's trying to get validation from you. The other thing that's going on in this system is you're likely seeking his validation, right? If only I can get him to understand, if only I can get him to see my point of view, if only I can get him to understand how I feel, right? Those are all statements of seeking validation externally. So that has to stop. That has to stop. because that's giving your keys away, right? And so in some, it's kind of returning to yourself, becoming okay, genuinely okay within yourself, rather than trying to kind of reach him. So that's not about punishing him. It's about rebalancing the emotional economy within the marriage, and kind of reclaiming your seat at the table, right? So you're not, responding to his controlling by counter controlling, but responding by controlling your own self, stabilizing your own self. When you do that, he's going to either step up or step back. Yeah, got to allow him to be him. But either way, you're free. You're detached emotionally from the crazy making cycle. So, of course, understanding all of this, I gave you a lot here in this video, and understanding this is it's super important. It's non-negotiable. You have to get this, and also you have to implement what you just heard, and that's where the game changing is actually implementing all of this. Application is everything. And the truth is, applying this in the real world, particularly when you're tired, particularly when you're feeling destabilized, while you're managing, the rest of life, right? Home, maybe kids, maybe career, that's hard. And it's really hard to do alone. And that's why Damaris and me have constructed the Detox Your Marriage coaching program. It's a training for women like you that are smart and capable and accomplished, who are ready to move on from hoping for change and are ready to start leading the change. That's absolutely possible. We help women every week with that. And we can walk you through step by step how to do the emotional detachment, how to do the genuine nervous system stabilization, so that you're not reacting to his every move. We walk you through exactly how to do boundaries, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk of boundaries, which is the hard part. And of course, rebuilding your identity to be an identity that is not defined by this relationship. The truth is, applying this in the real world, when you're tired, when you're second guessing, when you're feeling destabilized from the chaos, not to mention, the rest of life, home, kids, and career, it's hard to do alone. That's why we've built a school community, a Detox Your Marriage school community. It's totally free. There's a link below. Click the link, sign up for the Detox Your Marriage school community. Here's what you'll get in that community. You'll get a community of like-minded, heart-centered women that are walking the same journey, that have decided that enough is enough and they want to be the agent of change. Plus, you're going to get expert guidance from me and from Damaris, who are experts in the change process, that will equip you on how to create a different dynamic in your marriage. That's what we're doing in the Detox Your Marriage school community. So click the link below. It's totally free. There's a whole bunch of resources, a whole bunch of training that will equip you to get out of the chaos, to get out of survival mode, and get into a new dynamic in the marriage. All right? So I'll see you inside the school community.